Hello students, today we will see the second part of A Gift of Chappals by Vasanta Surya from class 7 Honeycomb book. In my previous video, we had seen part 1. So those who have not seen part 1 must watch my previous video to connect to the story. So students, in my previous video, we saw that Ravi, Meena and Mrudu were in the backyard, in the garden with the little kitten Mahendran. And Ravi was busy in narrating the story of the little kitten to everyone, which they had found that morning at the gate of their house. And suddenly they heard a screeching sound of the violin which was played by Lalli. Lalli is Ravi and Meena's sister. She is learning violin from a music master. So they came near the window to watch how Lalli played the violin. They peeped from the window and saw that Lalli was sitting at a distance away in the awkward position with the violin and bowstring, her elbow jutting out. Jutting out means projecting out. And as you see in the picture. And here, and her eyes gazed with concentration. Gazed with concentration means she was continuously looking at the master and she was focused. Here we see that the difference between the way of holding of the violin. When the music master holds the violin, it looks perfect. But when Lalli is holding, she looks uncomfortable. A awkward position is for her. They saw that the music master was sitting in front of Lalli and he was a bony figure, means he was very thin. He was also bald head. Bald head means his head there were no hairs, and with a fringe of oil. Black hair were round around his ears. The hairs were lined in such a way that were near his ears. An old-fashioned tuft, and there was a bunch of hairs tied at the backside, as we see nowadays the priest making their hairs and tying the tuft at the back of their head. Small pony sort of hairstyle. The music master was wearing a golden chain. A gold chain gleamed around his leathery neck, and a diamond ring glittered on his hand as he glided up and down the stem of the violin. So here we see that a golden chain, this music master was wearing a golden chain and it was around his leathery neck, which was rough. The neck was little rough and hard, and it was clearly seen, this golden chain. And when he was gliding up the stem of the violin, the children could see the diamond ring which was glittering in his hand. A large foot stuck out from beneath his gold bordered vest edge. Vest means dhoti's edge. A large foot came out and it was beating. What was the foot doing? Beating up on the floor to show the rhythm of the music which they were playing. With a scrawny big toe, scrawny means thin big toe, he played a few notes. Lalli stumbled behind him on her violin. Lully was stumbling, fumbling. She could not be so rhythmic as the music master, which looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hand. Now, who looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hands? It was the violin, because she was holding it awkwardly, and the rhythms which came out, the music which was heard, was not so soothing, not so appealing. What a difference! The music master's notes seemed to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of melody. But when the same music was played by Lully, it was derailing. She was derailing. She was going off the track. It was like when the music master played the music, it was like the wheels of the train fitting smoothly into the rails and whizzing along. This was said by Ravi. Mrudu stared at the huge bringe hand effortlessly up the violin stem, making lovely music. The big hand of the music master was making lovely music with the stem of the violin, and the same time Lully trying to play the same music, and it created squack, 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 squack sound. Just then, Ravi said, "Listen, there is someone wailing, someone is crying at the gate. Let's see. See, they are hearing the sound called Amma, Amma." Soon, listening to the sound, Ravi's mother told Ravi, "Ravi, send the beggar away." They knew who was shouting. This was the beggar at the door, at the gate. Now, Tapi and Pati, Mrudu's grandmother and Ravi's grandmother, are talking to each other. Pati says to Tapi, he has been coming here every day for the past week, and it's time. He has to find out another house to beg for. He must go from our house and go to some other house to beg and find food from. Mrudu and Meena followed Ravi out, and the beggar was already in their garden, making himself quite at home. Now, quite at home means he was resting as if he is resting in his own house. How he was resting now, how you can make yourself feel as you are resting in your own house is, he had spread his upper cloth under the neem tree and was leaning against its trunk. Apparently appeared to take a little snooze while he waited for the alms to appear, for the money or food to appear in front of him from somebody from the house. The way he was resting, as if he was taking a good nap, a small sleep, as he was tired. Ravi spoke to him sternly in a very harsh voice. Ravi spoke to the beggar. "Go away! My Pati says it's time you find another house to beg from." Pati is saying you must find another house to beg from. Beg, B-E-G, beg from. The beggar says, "The ladies of this house were very kind souls. I have kept my body and soul together on their generosity." Generosity means the way they used to give me money and food for the whole week, and that is why I am alive today. I cannot believe that they would turn me away. They would just throw me away like this, and they will not give me any more shelter and money and food. Sad his wail might be, but it certainly wasn't feeble. It began in a deep, strong rumble. The way he started speaking, somewhere in his withered belly, and came booming out of his mouth. The words were just here and there coming out of his mouth with shaking in his voice. In a very low voice, he was speaking. And the way when he was speaking, Ravi, Mrudu and Meena could see that his teeth were stained brown with the betel chewing. Betel means tobacco. When a person chews tobacco, the color of the teeth changes, and in the same way here the teeth color changed and it was brown. Rukmani enters and says, Ravi, tell him there's nothing left in the kitchen. He's not to come again. Tell him that. The way Rukmani spoke, it was really sounded that she was fed up. Fed up means very much tired. Ravi didn't have to repeat all that to the beggar, what his mother had said, because it was easy for the beggar to hear who was sitting under the neem tree. The beggar sat up, means stood up with the sigh, means he was very tired, and with a long deep breath of sadness, he just stood up. So, only let me have a rest under this tree. He says, I'll go away. I'm little tired, but let me rest for a while because it's very hot sun and the tar has melted on the road. Tar means the coal. The coal has melted on the road and my feet are already blistered. Blistered means are having sores, are having pink boils on the surface of the skin. You can see here in the very first image, the foot of the beggar is clearly seen. He stretched out his feet to show large pink peeling blisters on the sole of his bare feet. Bare means the feet without chappals or sleepers or any type of wearing to cover his feet. And they were very badly injured. Mrudu, Ravi and Meena were felt very much pity on the beggar. I suppose he doesn't have money to buy chappals, Mrudu says. Have you got an old pair somewhere in the house? Mrudu asks Ravi and Meena. Ravi keeps on thinking, I don't know. He says that ours are too small to fit his feet. He says that ours means the children's chappals or the sleepers are very small to fit this beggar's feet, so otherwise I would given him mine. The beggar was shaking out his upper cloth and tightening his dhoti, his eyes raised and looking fearfully at the road, gleaming in the afternoon heat. When he stood up because he was asked to leave from that place, and he was little scared to how would he walk on this hot sun when the sun was very hot. It was noon time and the road was very hot, and he was afraid that when he is having lot of blisters, how would he walk. Mrudu was very much upset. She felt very much compassionate towards the beggar. He needs something in his feet. It's not fair. Mrudu spoke this in a choked feeling. She was already in tears. Her big eyes were already filled with tears. At the same time, Ravi also was blubbering. He was also trying, he was upset with the feeling of that the beggar is having nothing to wear in his feet. It's not fair. It's not going to help. In 2 minutes he'll be frying his feet on the road, and if he walks on this road, he's going to fry. He's going to burn his feet into this frying pan called road. And then all three of them, thinks that what he needs is the chappals. So where do we go and find them? Come, Ravi says, let's go into the house and search for a pair of chappals. Just as they stepped into the veranda, Mrudu's eyes fell on that odd-looking chappals she had noticed when she arrived. Odd-looking chappals means strange-looking chappals, that grey chappals which we saw in the first part of the story. She says, Ravi, whose are those? These are just the right size of the beggar. Ravi turned and glance means looked, turned and looked at the shabby means ugly or dirty looking chappals, but sturdy old sleepers. Sturdy means strong, and they were old sleepers. He beamed and nodded. He beamed means he was happy, smiled happily, and nodded means moved his head. Now, Mrudu and Meena followed him nervously back into the garden. Ravi gave those chappals to the beggar and said, "Here, wear this and don't come back." Again he said the beggar that you wear this and go away from here and don't come back. The beggar pushed his feet into them and left. The beggar stared at the sleepers, hurriedly flung his towel over his shoulders, muttering a blessing to the children. In a minute, he had vanished around the corner of the street. So here, when the beggar got the chappals, he was very happy. He from his internal heart, he kept on giving blessings to these little children who had done a kindness, showed the kindness towards the beggar. And he just before the mind changes, before the children's mind changes or the elders' mind changes, because the children had brought the sleeper without taking the permission of the elders, so he wanted to waste no more time, and he just vanished means went away from that place, from that corner, before somebody sees or calls him. The music master, now after a while, what happens? The music master came out of the house and took an unappreciative look at the three of them sitting quietly under the tree playing marbles. Normally, children don't sit so quietly, and the music master perhaps was not very much happy with them. Then he searched for his slippers in the veranda where he had put them. But they were not there. "Lalli, have you seen my chappals, my dear? I remember having kept them here. Let's search every corner of the veranda. I'm not able to find out my chappals," said the music master to Lalli. They searched here and there, looking over the railing, crouching near the flower pots, to look between them. Every place they tried to search the chappals of the music master. He kept on saying that they were brand new. I went all the way to Mount Abu to buy them. They cost a whole month's fee. Do you know? He kept on telling all these things to Lalli. And now, as they were not able to find out the chappals, Lalli soon went and told the same incident about the losing of the chappals of the music master. Rukhumani appeared, looking harassed. She was little surprised and upset with the incident what had taken place in her house, with Pati following her. Pati followed her. Where could they have been? It's quite surprising and upsetting to think that somebody might have stolen them. Pati says, so many vendors come to the door. I think somebody from some of those vendors have taken it away. Rukhumani caught a sight of Ravi, Mrudu and Meena sitting under the tree and saw they were very curiously quiet. They were very much quiet. Normally children aren't so quiet. And then she asked, have you children seen anyone looking around the veranda, looking into the veranda and taking away some things? A V-shaped line had formed between her eyebrows. Whose eyebrow? Rukhumani's eyebrow. Another straight, tighter one appeared in the place of her usually soft. Where there were soft lines, another tighter look had appeared. And the pleasant mouth. Rukhumani was now angry, thought Mrudu with a shiver. Mrudu is seeing how Rukhumani appears and looks, because she was upset and she did not like the incident which took place in her own house. She wouldn't be so upset if she knew about the poor beggar with sores in his feet. Mrudu thinks that if she was knowing that this happened to the beggar and that is why the slippers are missing, she wouldn't be so upset. Rukhumani. There was a beggar. Mrudu couldn't stop herself. She said, there was a beggar here, poor thing. He was very poor creature. He had such boils in his feet. And Rukumani completed the sentence. So, you gave the music master's chappal to that old beggar who turns up here? Rukumani had turned to Ravi and spoke grimly. In a very stern voice, she spoke that you children given the music master's chappals to the beggar? Children these days, Pati could not understand. Amma, didn't you tell me about Karna, who had given away everything he had, even his gold earrings, as he was so kind and generous? When Amma talks always Pati talks always about being generous and kind. So now Ravi is giving an example of Karna from Mahabharata, that he gave away his things to everybody because he was very kind and generous. Rukumani snapped. She is just very much angry. Silly, Karna didn't give away other people's things. He only gave away his own. And you have given music master's chappal. So she cut Ravi in between. Ravi rushed brashly on. In a very harsh and rude tone, Ravi told, but my chappals wouldn't have fitted the beggar's feet. And Amma, if they did fit, would you really not have minded? Ravi questions Rukumani that if I would have given my chappals, if they were going to fit beggar, would you have not minded? Rukumani was angry at the child's question and the way he spoke. How dare you speak to me like that? Go inside this minute right now. And Ravi was sent inside. So the different behavior of talking about generosity and being generous, sometimes elder people do not understand or do not behave the way they talk. This should fit you, sir. Please put this on. I'm sorry, my son has been naughty. Rukumani went inside and brought a pair of sleep chappals and just asked for forgiveness to the music master and gave him a pair of chappals. Well, I suppose this have to do. The music master's eyes lit up. He put the new chappals on, trying to look not very happy, but they were very nice, so he was happy from the beneath, from inside. These days, children have no respect for their elders. What to do? A Hanuman incarnate, only Rama can save such naughty fellow. Now, when he is comparing, music master is comparing Ravi with Hanuman, a monkey. Rukumani's eyes flashed and she didn't like to Ravi being compared with a monkey. Though he is a holy monkey, she didn't like him. She stood stiff and straight by the front door. It was clear that she wanted the music master to leave quickly with the new chappals which he was wearing. And as he left, she said, thank God your Gopu Mama doesn't wear this chappal to work. As she walked towards the kitchen with Mrudu and Meena, she began to laugh. Suddenly, she began to laugh. She called Mrudu inside and asked her to have something to eat. And she was questioning how you children think such things and how you behave in this way. But he is always in such a hurry. Now they are talking about Gopu Mama. That Gopu Mama, when he comes, he'll be searching for his slippers. But he is always in hurry to throw off his shoes and socks and get into his chappals. So I am literally surprised, or I am literally worried that how would he behave when we talk him about the whole incident that we gave away his chappals to the music master. So I hope you all my children, all my students have enjoyed the story. Please, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.